Hello. We are live finally. This is 3020 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and differently than normal, these two wonderful people have joined us tonight to not play a game but to build one. And the weird bit is, they're gonna be in the one they're building. How can you do that, the metagame? No, they fucking won't, because they're great players. Can we move on now? Thank you. Here we go. Our two great players for tonight. You recovered first, so over to you, Bison underscore Stonefist.
No, it's not that we won't metagame. It's just that I'm ADHD. I'll friggin' forget by the time we get there. I'm Bison Stonefist. Stonefist, as we say here.
Yes.
I'm a regular contributor on this channel. You'll find me here 3 nights a week currently. Back to 4 in a couple of weeks, I hear. But yeah, tonight I normally play Sid Brimlock, our broken-ribbed engineer. On Tuesdays, I run our Cyberpunk Red campaign, Carnage Heights, and on Thursdays, I play Encino, our Dragonborn Paladin, on our Fool's Gold campaign, Kingspire Egg.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff on this channel. Thank you for underlining that for us. Speaking of stuff on this channel, let's talk to the waywardest of the knights. Oh,
Hi, that's me. I am the waywardest of them. I am Wayward Knight. You can also call me Chris. I play Felicity in this Dead to Rights game of Necrobiotic, and I also run our Buffy the Vampire Slayer TTRPG called Brave New World. That is usually on Mondays. We're going to be back soon, I promise. I'm getting my voice back after all that stuff, so it's going to be soon. I've already started writing stuff out, so
excellent.
Stay tuned.
Excellent. We will.
I'm also an artist on the internet. I put my art places. You can even buy it if you want, if you like it. Those are all my links. And come join us on the Discord. I live there.
Let's put the Discord up there. Hazard. I did it. And I'm also going to introduce, even though you can't see them, and they're in Twitch chat, another one of our cast members, the spectacular, the wonderful, the talented, Thunderscape7. Hi, Thunderscape7. Tell us all about yourself. No, I won't make you do that. I won't make you type all that in. We know you're amazing. That's all we need to know for right now. Ha! No. I refuse your compliment and replace it with my own judgment of myself. Oh, there we go. That's right. We got a whole thing. Look at that. It's all there. You know what? I probably should read it now, even though, yeah. Robin is the lore collector of Dirty 20 Gaming. That is true. Ironsworn Wiki. We still have that somewhere. She is an artist making the emotes for the game's Twitch and Discord and posts her own art to Twitter at places and other social media at other places, presumably under the name Thunderscape7. Also the content contributor to the thing that doesn't exist anymore. We'll fix that one of these years. There's lots of mods on this channel. You can fix your own stuff because I will fail to remember as much as Bison will fail to remember what we do tonight. So or send me a brief reminder and I'll forget it again, but I'll try. Okay, why we're here tonight, and the stream can see the page here. We are at the end of the second chapter of what was supposed to be a much shorter campaign. It blossomed, it grew, it was amazing. I wouldn't stop any of it. But it is time for the third chapter, and the third chapter is kind of different because it's really more political, more social than the first ones. So what I would like to do is build that chapter now. I've got some rough ideas and I put them on some paper and I want us all to build it together. So let's get to the ideas. First of all, the theme I picked, I always pick for each of the chapters has had sort of a title. The last one was the Swallow's Wings thing. This one is a direct quote. In a time of destruction, create something. From Maxine Hong Kingston. Look them up, they're pretty cool.
The first chapter was called So You Heard You Like Trauma.
No, that's the Dead to Rights : So We Heard You Like Trauma.
Yeah. Welcome to the content warning list. Yeah. But
just movie credits scroll.
yeah. these guys are very, very close to getting to the goal city, which is Venice. And once you're there, you have to take all the things that you've learned and all the skills that you've had and fix this city so that it can become the center of the recovery of the world and people as we know it. So, what I broke it down to, I still do play lots of tabletop games. So as soon as I started thinking about this chapter, I got the idea in my head that this is really resource management, and the resources are the characters. Fix this city with rocks and rolls. Yes, it's a quarry and bakery place now. Yeah.
Ew, dusty buns.
Oh, dusty buns. The dusty bun. That's what we call it. It's called Dusty Buns, and we specialize in faces on pastry. Pastries, yes, that's what we called them.
Pastry.
Of course, that's what we called them. Between Artemis and Felicity. Yep. Yeah, rocks and rolls. Okay, so I immediately resources and stacks of tokens and all that shit popped into my head, and I thought I need help. So I went and got help, which is these people. But basically, what I foresaw is just to sort of keep track of things. It's like 4 tracks on a game board. They're infrastructure, engineering, political, and social. To be a little more specific, infrastructure is primarily upgrading this whole city to steam power efficiently with all the stuff that you've learned, right? And figuring out how to get that out. Engineering is, it says there, to build the plans generated above. It's great to have steam power and all that stuff, but how the hell do I build 700 miles of steam tubing? How do I control pressures at those ranges? All that technical stuff, right? Don't worry, you don't have to be able to do math. It's just going to be a check on the list of things that you need to do. This is all going to be RP scenes. The political side of it is you're going to a place and you need to overcome the current political tendencies and win over the locals, so to speak, sort of hearts and minds this, right? Otherwise, they're not going to listen to you no matter how good your ideas are. And the social one, which is creating kind of what you guys did in that last little town. Creating time and space for people to not just be busting their asses to survive, so that there's a reason to live. It's not just survival. So, again, in my board gaming head, I saw 4 rows that each had 10 in them because I've always got 10 in them, 10 spots. And I just kind of filled them in from there. So what I've got, I'm going to talk about what I got for a little while, and then we're going to all talk about it together here. So, as the track with 10 things on it, but each of these overall things basically breaks down to the same thing over and over. You need people, you need place and a time to work, you need the resources to do the thing, you need labor, you need the training, and you actually need to do the work. So that kind of fills the 10 spots, or 9 spots. I added a 10th one because there's a hiccup. Every time you start a project, something goes wrong, so I reserve the right to have something go wrong with each and every one of these things after you've powered your way through the first 9 parts of it. That's how I get paid. So if you take like 4 columns, infrastructure, engineering, political, and social, and those things you can see in the spots there, I put things in there. So let's start with the first one, which is people. That, I think, first of all, do you agree with this statement? That's going to kind of be the same in all 4 places. Because you need to find somebody with the skill set that you need for that, to run that with one of you. And then you need to recruit them. So it's kind of a 2-stage process. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through them one at a time, just to be, just to get specific examples. So for infrastructure, unless you want us to be a bunch of vigilantes, you guys had your chance. You burned down 2 cities. What do you want?
No, you burned down 2 cities.
That's fair. I'm gonna wear a hat that says, "Now look what you made me do." More. You get to Venice, what do? Light it on fire and run away.
We can't, it's underwater.
The sticky up bits will burn. I'm not asking for any specifics right now, but like I said, infrastructure, engineering, political, and social. I'm not specifically saying that one of you has to do each one. But is there people's going to be tough to do this, but so what would you be looking for? Let's start with that real quick for somebody to run the infrastructure side of things. Like that's probably is who's running it? One of you two probably, which of the party members. 'Cause we're gonna have this conversation we're gonna have this conversation in RP mode, but just started to give you guys a little head up. Yeah, Sid. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Sid's the engineer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's I think out of all of them, he's the only one with like an established leadership position.
Yep, and hands-on build stuff.
No, Delilah.
Well, that's true
Delilah
too.
had a leadership position.
Yeah.
But speaking of Delilah, I think I might be
she's
thinking
not-
engineering for Delilah, because that's literally what you did, right? Or political or social.
I was thinking political / social because
Okay.
Delilah.
Well, that's the thing. We can work in teams,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean Delilah.
You mean Felicity? I did it too.
Fuck. Yeah.
It says Felicity in Zoom.
Hey, yeah, it does. And Felicity Felicity was a scientist and she's more like a bioengineer.
Yep.
Is kind of how I view her. So
Yep.
she like, if you wanted more constructs, sure.
Yeah.
But like her grasp on steam power is still, it's not that she doesn't grasp it, but she has so much less experience than say Sid.
Yep.
I think I understand steam. I would agree in steam engineering.
So, but what Delilah was raised to do was to eventually become a builder.
Right.
So she was groomed
you're
to
right.
have. Sorry, Felicity. So she was groomed to have that diplomacy prowess.
Sure.
Basically,
you could have said Delilah in that situation.
Yeah, Delilah was groomed, and Felicity now has that skill set.
Yep, I like that. Okay, we've got. Yep.
Delilah, Felicity, would be
Delicity. That's your stripper name. Yeah.
And
and now, Delicity. Come on, throw some money up here. I need cigarettes.
Sounds too much like Trulicity. But anyway, so like Delilah might be like an overseer on larger aspects of projects, but she wouldn't be in there inspecting pipes or whatever, because that's not necessarily what she knows. But she knows how to manage a project. She knows how to make decisions. She knows how to talk to people.
Yep. Okay, so Felicity the face.
Yeah.
I like that.
Facelicity?
He can't help himself. He portmanteau. You portmanteau everything. It's magnificent.
I can't help it.
Those are caribous.
I
Artemis.
like the idea of Artemis being, as Robin said in the chat. Artemis definitely struck me as social for sure. And I like the thought of her as infrastructure as well, because she could come up with creative solutions to issues.
There is that, and I had another thought too as we were talking. Artemis social, absolutely, that makes sense. But the engineering side of it, the actual technical engineering side, could really easily be the boys. Right, because my thought is Verite does prototypes, right? Because he's a one-off guy. He doesn't do production runs, so he does prototypes, and then Stefano converts that into usable tech. Right? So they're a good team, but neither one of them is going to be able to do anything about finding the right people to do the job and finding the space and time, all the stuff in this row that needs to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I can absolutely see Artemis going over and go, oh, boys, this stuff goes in the fridge, this stuff goes in the cupboard, wash your fucking dishes, and how are we doing on plumbing? Right? So, so Artemis, babysitter slash savant. Oh, savant herder. There it is. That's it.
And also, what about the idea that Robin brought up of maybe political for Karis for our Allegra?
Allegra, undoubtedly, yeah. I think that's such a part of their character. Yeah, I had them pretty much penciled in for political. I don't think they could help themselves as a character. So saved her. Oh no, that's perfect. Okay, so that kind of gives you something to think about. Again, as players, so that your characters don't have to think about it in the spur of the moment. You guys have got some time now. We're honestly going to be, we're probably, unless you guys, nope, I can't finish that sentence. I was going to say, unless you guys do something unexpected, because you always do. I expect, that I can say, I expect to get to Venice, honestly, in one more episode. So we're really close. There's kind of a montage of the last 100 kilometers. It's not really anything it's like a ride at Disney World at that point. But but yeah, then we're gonna get there, and this is gonna start. So we kind of figured out for all four of them. We're done the first two now, more or less. It's find them and recruit them. So each having sort of your own column, Sid, you can start thinking about where would you go in a city that doesn't have an established Steam thing. Although there's a couple people here that use Steam, we established that. Ha ha ha. Where would you go? Right.
Was that Cappuccino?
The Cappuccino Coffee. Yeah. And somebody else has got a reason to go there too.
Cappuccino Steamworks.
Steamworks, yeah.
I don't want to call it a coffee works.
And somebody else is
make me start a mini revolution. Who knows?
Oh, it's not a mini revolution. You guys are going to change the way the city works and become the hub from which it spreads. The recovery of hope. You guys are the blossom. You guys are the orchid. Right? The third one. This is the one where it starts getting different for each one. The space you need to do these things. Like how much physical room, where, whatnot. Infrastructure. That's
just a table to lay out a business plan.
That's the thing, right? For political and social, this might be as little as a table in a room. It could be an office. Political, you probably want an office, maybe, but
yeah, I was thinking offices.
You need to rent a room.
Yeah, you need a room. But yeah, for social, absolutely. This is, it's not exactly the internet, but making up posters and doing any of that sort of stuff you can do in your room. So,
does the printing press re-exist?
I'm sure there's a clunky one that somebody could turn into a steam-powered mass production unit, perhaps as part of a proof of plan.
Proof of concept. Yeah.
Proof of concept, yeah. But the other two, infrastructure and engineering, these are challenging space-wise in two very different ways. Because in my mind, the actual infrastructure, you need a place to build, like a place to put the stuff that builds it. But then you also, the whole city in a way is your space,
that's
right?
Going to be hard because we'll be working through an existing city. Yes. Infrastructure is easy as hell when it's new.
Yeah, anybody who's done any of the city simulators knows that. Building it's easy, keeping it running's a bitch. Yeah. So yeah, it's really multi-layered on the infrastructure side. So while it's only one space, that might be more than one scene. Because you're gonna have to find a place to put the base, because you gotta have a place where it all starts, right? Probably with a humongous steam engine in it. So, and then radiate out from there. So we're not going to make you do block by block. I'm not going to give you a fucking map of Venice and make you draw pipes on it. We're not playing that game. As soon as I started saying that, it's like, this This is like some of those train games where you build railway tracks across the continent. Never mind. Anyway, it isn't like that.
And yeah, and we don't know the attitude of Venice at all.
Exactly. Well, you guys are gonna have to change it. That's how much
Yeah.
what your characters are going to find out. The players kind of. I mean, they have a solution, but like every solution you've seen so far, it doesn't work. It's not. It's not
It's
the
a partial
solution.
solution.
Yeah,
It's a
at best.
Band-Aid.
Yeah. But back to space. Engineering is different for a different reason because they're going to need access to your steam power. They're going to need a big area because that's going to be steamworks and piping, and they're the ones that are going to do the actual design and build of the entire steamworks for the city, right? So that's another big single building, and then from there they're gonna they're good to start with that, a big single building, because you're just gonna radiate out from there. So it's different demands in infrastructure and engineering, I think. What else is different between those two? Or what have I missed is a better question. The space needed.
Well, I mean, it's space, the developing new resources.
R&D.
tools. You need tools to make tools.
Yes, yeah, that cycle, that infrastructure and engineering is going to be doing this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, if nothing comes, we're just brainstorming tonight, so we're gonna role play all this stuff out. I'm just putting like tablets in water and watching it fizz to give you guys some time to figure out what the fizz means. That was a really weird analogy. Never mind. Let's go on. Time.
Yeah, a
What
meeting
they're-
place.
Well, yeah, you need a meeting place at the very least. Yeah, somebody outside of the already created system. Yeah, you're walking in as strangers, telling them you can fix it, and some of them are going, "It's not broken." Some of them are going, "It's broken, but it's our broken." It's there's going to be a lot of different.
It's our broken.
Yes, yeah,
One of them's like, "What are you doing in my house?"
yeah, exactly. Yeah, get out of my city. You're from Demonville. You do dead things. Yeah, it's all going to be there, right? But another thing that your characters are going to find out is that this is survive. You've seen it in every place now, right? Allegra fixed it in one place, but everybody's busy all the time. So not only do you have to find these people, you have to figure out how to, for the lack of a better phrase, cover a shift for them to come to a meeting with you. What's the brooms? Who are sweeping? Yeah. But yeah, everybody's busy all the time, so you're gonna have to find ways to overcome that. What did I write there? May involve. Oh, yeah. You might have to make one of these paths happen before the other one, so that you've got resources that you can use in both places. Right? If you find, yeah. So you get the idea. But that one, to me, it's kind of the same on all of them. But that's. What are your thoughts on time? How do you role play a scene to gain enough time to do something?
Montage.
That's one way, absolutely, yeah. Pin the mayor against a wall in a back alley and have a word. That's another way. There's. I need 30 days.
Role playing.
I need 30 days. You got 15.
Yeah.
Role playing.
That is negotiations, isn't it?
Making the.
Yeah.
Role playing the like deal making and stuff, and the planning, and then being like, okay, so then this rolls out, and then sort of time skipping or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it works. I saw a sparkle in your eyes when you were talking about that. What are your? This would be a good time to stop and ask this question. We're almost halfway through. What do you think of this idea? That like literally moving markers along tracks towards solutions.
I like it. I'm sorry, my brain is dead.
You don't have to apologize, and it's allowed to be.
I like it. It's kind of foreign to me. I've never like played.
Yeah.
In like a.
It's not something you RP
step by step kind of thing.
Catan about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've role played with goals in mind, but never with like, you
Good.
know,
Yeah.
like resource management kind of stuff.
Good.
Because
I
that's
like
not
that.
usually
Yeah.
my thing.
This is the chapter in
Good.
Pathfinder that nobody reads.
This is why I'm. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because it's different. I want a different take on the endless meetings thing that normally happens in political campaigns. I could do
I think
endless
it's a
meetings
good way
with you
to
guys all day
approach
long,
it.
but we'll give it a shot. Anyway, I wanted to see what it looks like. That's great. I like this because I got a nice spread of people here because you haven't done much in the way of sort of like you said, like a tabletop resource management board game, right? You had said, Bison, I know you've played a lot of tabletop games. Have you done the resource management ones, or are you more combat related?
I've started many games of Catan. I don't think
Okay.
I've ever finished one.
All right. Yeah.
But that's kind of like the standard experience, I'm told.
Yes.
Uh,
Yep.
I've
Catan with
played
the
a number
actual
of-
things at a table with people is a whole different thing.
Oh.
It's, yeah.
It's like
You don't get to get bored and fuck off, but never mind.
Monopoly count.
That depends on how you play Monopoly. I have sat at a table that accidentally turned into a role-playing game of Monopoly. We ended up developing the four bankers playing Monopoly, and just all the tiny peoples, the meeples that we had control over. Oh, it was hideous. It was. I wish it had been recorded, but yes. Well, that's another one because
players.
so that I really like this then because that means at least two of you don't have that sitting. I'm just trying to think of the names of some of them, but you don't have that experience of sitting down and you start each little turn with your 10 little markers in your hand, and there's 6 different things you can do, and you think I'm going to do that, but somebody else goes first and they do that, and now it's going to cost more to do that because they did it first. And the resource management is it's a really, I think we can do this as sort of not even a scoreboard, just sort of a little thing on the side, because of course your characters aren't going to see it unless like museums. But that's a question actually. Would your characters have this sort of chart on the wall? Maybe not this specific.
I could see Artemis like,
or one or
as
two
they're
steps
brainstorming, just like running to like a spare piece of wall.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Artemis is going to be very useful because you're absolutely right. Nobody scavenges like Artemis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Felicity.
There's a whole city of scavengeable shit here. Yeah.
Felicity's strengths are the leaders, not the followers.
Yeah.
So like, because Felicity was given everything,
yep.
So she doesn't really know like scavenging and resource management and stuff like that. Like,
but human resources.
Yeah, you were taught schmooze as you got a master's in schmooze.
She was taught schmooze.
Yeah.
She was taught.
And now you've got an honorable place and direction to use it, right? Even though it was taught to you by an evil person, you can sort of cleanse it by using it for this, right? That was the hope. You got the schmooze. And I heard that as you got the schmooze. But yeah. Schmooves operator. Anyway.
Move McGroove.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad I asked that question at that time. Resources. I left 2 slots for this because
you always need more than you burn.
Well, there's also 2 parts to it. Right? There is that too. We can add that to one of these.
People and materials, right?
And yeah, that's one of the things. Like, so first thing is, what do you need? You guys both asked the same sort of question, right? What do we need? We need this, and this to move forward. And then the follow-up question, how the hell do we get it? In a city that's all the resources are already doing something, or maybe they're not. You can scavenge stuff. Nobody's looking for stuff, So
maybe 2 iron for a sheep.
You got a sheep? Okay, 10 iron. Did I say? I didn't say 2. I said 10. 2 pounds. That's what I meant. 2 pounds iron. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, but yeah, that's the reason why I had 2 resources, because it's going to take at least 2 meetings again to achieve this goal, right? Of figuring out what you need and then walking into some place with a list and going, "You need to give me this shit." Right? Meanwhile, yeah, Artemis is in the dumpster. Yeah. And the boys are sitting on the next dumpster over putting shit together. Yeah.
Venice's raccoons won't know it.
And for some reason, they're all covered in glitter.
Craft herpes.
Turns out there's been a family of raccoons hitchhiking on the bottom of the cork in
The whole time. Yep. Yep. Gathering every glitter that dropped. What is a single of glitter? Is it glit? Is one little sparkly thing a glit?
Raccoon joke in Carnage Heights, and nobody runs it. 3 times, Kraken has met the same raccoon in 3 different scenes.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, raccoons don't exist because it's Night City." I'm like, "No, you don't get it. Follow the raccoon."
Well, if you let here follow Kraken's crackhead ride, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can see the raccoon. But back to this. That's resources. That's why I had 2. And those, I think, are going to be really, really different, as you pointed out, Chris. What resources infrastructure needs is, like, we're back to the big building, lots of heavy equipment, right? Whereas for political, you need connections, you need invitations to parties, you need really different things, right? So that one I'm looking forward to. Same with social, right? You got to get in with the right people. You've got to get invited to the right parties. You got to get A-list celebrity class status, right? Whereas in engineering, you got to be sitting in bars telling really complicated jokes to drunk kids. That's how you impress engineers.
By insulting their intelligence.
So, yeah. Any thoughts on resources other than that? I think that kind of... You can see the wheels are spinning, though. You guys, I got half a brain from both of you, because half of your faces is off doing character stuff already. Aren't kids often glue? So an addiction center.
I knew this horse.
His memory sticks with me.
And this is where we would lose Sarah.
Alas, poor horse.
We knew him well. At least he stuck around.
Anyway.
Yeah, next. We're almost done. Labor, again, really different, right? What you need for, especially political. This one kind of splits down the middle.
I was going to say, political is going to actually have more labor cost than and the infrastructure, because
hiring
is the same crew.
Yeah.
Political, you need support, you need lobbyists, you need money.
Yeah.
And then we've got like handfuls of copper.
Yep. And no friends here. Well, very few, not even very many references. So yeah, which is underlines the whole thing is this whole process is going to be working against the culture that you're in. So the more you can sort of speed up the political and social side of it, that may act as the thin edge of the wedge to get things going faster, because the more power you've got, the more you can get away with, so to speak. Yeah. We haven't even touched on the what are you willing to do to accomplish your goals, but we'll get to that when we get to the role play.
Honestly, there's a part of me that thinks Sid would not be against the idea of just doing it without permission. This is what we have to offer you. You can either
ask forgiveness later.
It really depends on how much like rye he's had before that decision is made.
Or going for the John Doe deer. On Friday nights. The long-term goal is benevolent dictator.
That character's hilarious. I'm like, oh shit, Guy's gotta run.
Yeah, this is gonna be good fun. Yeah, but so yeah, that's the labor. But again, like infrastructure and engineering might not need that many. Infrastructure is going to need a ton of people, like to actually do the work, to actually maintain the steam works. Steam makes rust, pipes break. That you need maintenance crews, you need response crews, redundant program, all that stuff. And they all have to be talented, right? So which takes us right to the next one, which is training. Yeah, I just watched Sid pop up behind Bison's eyes and go, I'm gonna have to teach them all how to put two pieces of fucking pipe together and not make it blow up. They know nothing, right? There's one group of people here that was smart enough to make a car that would go a couple 100 yards. That is the limit of the steam tech in this city, right? So
at least it's something. It's like,
it brings that
from there.
But I bring it up because it is so different, right? You're the only person that can train the infrastructure people here. Engineering, if you could get Stefano in front of a group, he'd probably work as a teacher. As long as you could keep him on track. I mean, Verite, obviously,
at the very
nobody's going to learn anything from Verite.
Sid's contingency plan for Stefano and Verite is basically make the prototype, explain the prototype.
Yes.
Sid does the prototype.
Yes, yeah. It's exactly, yeah. There's we talked about it earlier. He does one-offs. So yeah, Verite solves the problem. Stefano makes it work in a usable public way, replaceable, reproducible,
and
development, and then you are construction. Yeah. But again, everything that those two do is going to require constant observation, because we've seen neither one of them can be trusted, right? I mean, not for lack of trying, but Stefano's got his limits where he just gets mad and turns into a fucking psycho, and Verite sometimes gets really emotional and burns stuff down. So, yeah, somebody's got to watch them, is my point. Vigilantes, you guys have done that. Trains in thinking outside the box and how to get Verite outdoors. Grass touch break. Come on, Verite. Come on. I have a new formula. Come on. I have a challenge for you, Verite. I'm going to hide it in the grass outside. Oh, I don't like touching grass. Never mind. That's not right. That's not correct either. He wove those flowers into beautiful images. So, anyway, but yeah.
It's the skybox that scares him.
So the labor and training, they kind of go together. But again, it's also going to depend on the results of other things, right? You're not going to be able to get 1,000 people together until you have a certain level of political will in this city, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to keep them happy until you've developed a certain level of social will in this city, like a place to spend this money that they're about to start making, right? A place to things to do on their, what the hell are you talking about, days off, right? Because Allegra, of course, is going to be in charge of the 4-day work week, social services, and unions.
Gain recognition, people's trust. I mean,
yeah, it's all going to be exactly so. So my idea is that we've got this sort of track that we're using, but we're using it to more keep track of. I mean, it's not score, but it's separate from, but connected to the role play. The role play is going to be the thing. The board, I know what it is. The board is an encounter generator. Let's call it that. So these encounters need to be done before that row can be, before that storyline is complete. So it's just a really visual way of showing that, I think. And if it doesn't work, we'll throw it out the bloody window and try something else, because why not?
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
We defenestrate.
Yes. Doesn't work. Open the window. Why? I can't pay for any more glass. Anyway. The last one that you guys have got any sort of direct input in is beginning the project. Now, in my head, and add to this, please, because all I can think of when I see begin the process is one or more of the group standing uncomfortably on a new bridge making a speech. Right. So that's that's the and then they you cut the ribbon and open the bridge for for that sort of thing.
You know it's gonna be all of us standing there, and then eventually Felicity clears her throat and steps forward and goes, "Okay, I'll do it."
Yeah, like her pokes you with one of her canes. Get up there, get up there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
They got mad at Sid last time.
yeah. Sid won't stay on topic. He keeps talking about unions and pressure. That's but so yeah. What else? The problem with those speeches is you make promises in them because you kind of have to because they're all political, right? So
Yeah.
Again, characters having no idea about this. There's every single one of these is going to encounter a problem shortly after it begins. But let's start with the beginning first. So you were going to say something, Chris?
I think it's less. We shouldn't make promises so much as we should, like, I'm trying to think of the words. Something I think to sort of phrase it the way Felicity might say it is that we will do our best to maintain a quality of life that that makes this city better.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like not a we're going to do this, but a we're going to do our best to be as good as we can be. And so like we're very careful wordage and things like that, and maybe not at like a bridge opening, but like
they got lots of bridges. It's Venice.
Propaganda. like positive propaganda in a way, like and a lot of outreach. I think outreach would be really outreach might actually be good to involve in several of the steps.
Artemis is going to
continued.
Yeah. Again, the hearts and minds, like we talked earlier, right? Yeah, exactly. That's gonna be a key element. You guys got to win over a city to save them.
Show not tell for sure.
Yeah.
Artemis Banksy DeMassey.
Yeah.
Artemis DeBanksy. Petulant, excuse you.
Just wait wait till you meet your greatest fan.
I think outreach beyond beginning. So like, when hiccups occur, you fix them as best you can.
Yeah.
And then you continue checking in with people and like constant outreach. I don't know why my brain just like can only see the word outreach right now.
It's a perfectly good word. It's making me grin because I am hearing. I have read many histories. I have read so much history, and it's great fun to hear a group of soon-to-be revolutionaries plan the absolute wonderfulness that is going to be the world that they're going to create, and then to see exactly what they're willing to do to get there. So
the ideals to compromise pipeline.
With that, that's the 9, right? That's the 9 that you guys are going to be part of, and there's going to be, and again, of course, whether your characters come up with some form of this or at least a what do we need to do next list, that's up to you guys. I wanted to do this to see if this made sense. First of all, does this make sense? Especially to our non-board gamers. I can smell the inside of a new board game every time I say the word. I could, like, you cut the plastic and you open it up and there's that all the dust from the from the token. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That smell of cardboard and far too many hours spent.
And underpaid artists and
Yeah.
the whole bit. It's all part of the smell.
Oh
And
no.
the money that I should have spent on food, it's all part of that same smell.
I remember Warhammer days.
Guilt, yeah, that's what it smells like. It smells like guilt.
Guilt.
But so yeah, the
Shame.
gist, you get the gist. The short version is 40 spots, 40 scenes minimum. So there's going to be, what this means on a slightly larger scale is there's going to be a lot of the things that I love and people tell me that they love too, which is the one-on-one or two-on-one or part of the party doing things and part of the party going to meetings and all that stuff.
ASTP.
And just bang, 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 hopping around. What the hell does that stand for? I can't figure it out.
Always split the party.
Always split the party. There you go. I should know that by now. Yes. But yeah, always split the party to a whole new level. And you guys are free to work as teams and individually. You can eventually on the political side, you're going to end up, I mean, if you want the power to do stuff, you're going to have to end up with titles. You're going to have to be part of the local politics.
Felicity's not
or overthrow them.
Titles.
In the way that Lint is not against chocolates.
Well, you're talking about like titles and stuff, and the first thing that pops into my head is a scene in Peaky Blinders when Tommy Shelby is on the House of Lords and War Pigs is playing in the background.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But yes, so 40 spots, 40 scenes minimum. That's basically what it is. And what I wanted to do, not only do we have this to play with as a sort of game board, it also helps us. We're all going to build this because I haven't got any of these encounters written, right? Because I don't know what you guys have decided yet. So we are going to build the end of this story, the last 40 scenes of this story, communally, together, the way I like to do it. None of it is pre-written. None of it is pre-planned. I have exactly what we talked about tonight. I have a half a page of notes, and that's it. And none of it's written in stone because this is just a think about it. We'll come back next week, and hopefully, if everyone is available, we will come back and start the final chapter of Dead to Rights, which again is called "In a Time of Destruction, Create Something." Maxine Hong Kingston. Look them up. It's a really cool story. There is a hint of scandal, but just don't read that fucking. Yeah, never mind. They did a lot of amazing stuff. But other than that, I think we're done. Anything you guys wanted to add? What did I miss? Did I miss the whole row? Did I is there something you'd like to see more details spent on?
I think it's
I
cool.
just think as long as we go ahead.
Oh, he's picking his eye. You go first, Chris.
I just think as long as we take our time and make sure that we're satisfied with each scene that we have,
oh yeah, yep,
that we have played out, because I don't want to leave anything. Yes, Robin. Yes. I don't want to leave anything. Not necessarily like no stone unturned, but more like I don't want to leave anything unexplored that I might regret.
Yeah, the private goals are in addition to this. So this is what it takes to sort of accomplish the last chapter. But yeah, especially, well, not especially, but Felicity's got stuff that needs to be resolved here. A lot of stuff. Sid's got Sid's literally got some ghosts he's got to deal with. Artemis, and if we can get Coas back, if the timing works, then absolutely, I would love it. But we'll get this. All of that's going to get done too. And thank you for bringing it up. This doesn't mean there's only 40 scenes left once we get to Venice. This means there's 40 scenes to finish the module.
I just realized how or why the ghosts are sticking around. As we were talking, you're just monologuing. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's why they haven't left. I get it now. I get it now.
Yep. Good, because that means we got all that to develop. And exactly, that's what I mean. That nobody's got a finished storyline yet. Right? Nobody. The boys have really, honestly, yet to blossom. They've shown signs, but they've
But I
also.
think that's a you problem.
I get like 6 pages, and that's with the cheating. Why use many words when few words work good?
I get told 10. I write a brutal rebuttal in 6 and then pad it out. Anyway, this is going to be amazing. I love the idea because you guys are going to be able to, and I want to do this more, this sort of in and out of character thing. You guys are going to be welcome over the course of this. Doesn't mention the 40-page paper. You guys are more than welcome during the course of this to pop out of character and have a conversation as players and then go back in and see what happens. I know there won't be any metagaming, right? I'm not worried about that at all. So I want this to be, this whole last chapter is not only going to be an amazing story, but I want it to be a whole bunch of different experiments going on at once. So nobody's feet are on the ground for any length of time. Everybody's on their toes. Everybody's dancing, because I think that's where the best RP comes from. Works. Cool. 1 hour almost precisely. We could have timed it. We left 2 minutes at the end for the inevitable ad break. But just because it wasn't a normal episode doesn't mean it doesn't end in the normal way. Thank you to Bison_Stonefist. Thank you to Wayward Knight. And thank you to Thunderscape 7. I'm going to use you. And thank you to Thunderscape 7 as well. I'm looking forward to this a lot. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and watched this. Anybody that tunes in and watches the VOD, thank you as well. If you saw this on YouTube, thank you for watching to the end. This must be weird, especially if you haven't seen everything that came before it, but never mind. If you watched all the way to here, I will pretty much guarantee you've either lost your mouse or you liked it. Either way, please hit the like button when you find your mouse. Hit the little bell, and it'll tell you when we put more stuff up on YouTube, because we do lots. We're almost at 500 things up on YouTube now, and most of them are almost 2 hours long. Also, please come to our Discord. It is a truly, stop being facetious and silly now, it's a truly wonderful place, and I was reminded of that again this week by a new member who joined us and has got the same reaction as everybody that's ever joined us, which is to walk into the room, look around, and go, I don't quite believe this. So I will take that, because we have inevitably answered that question with no, it's not a bit, and yes, this is real. We are this nice, we are this supportive, damn it. So that's all the thank yous. That means there's only one thing left. I don't care, this wasn't a normal episode, it still gets the ending. Until next time, please, and I will take it as a personal favor, please be nice to each other.
Please, and this is a threat.
There, we covered all the bases. Good night, everybody.
This is a threat.
Good night, people.